Hello, I'm David Chaston with 90 at 9, brought to you by interest.co.nz. This week, get everything you need to know in 90 seconds at 9 o'clock, with news. Key international data is decidedly mixed this morning, and that's being positive about it. Firstly, the US Labor Department has revised down the non-farm payrolls jobs created in the US economy in 2018 and early 2019 by 500,000. The jobs growth in the period was unremarkable compared with the previous period, according to the updated data, and that undermines the great economy story. The US August PMI showed factories contracting for the first time in 10 years, led by yet another fall in new orders. The services sector also slowed sharply, and although still expanding, is only marginal now, down from the moderate growth in July. This data was backed up by regional Kansas City Fed Activity Index data, where the decline deepened. But at Jackson Hole, a few regional Fed leaders are coming out against more FOMC rate cuts, directly pushing back at aggressive US administration haranguing. Powell will give his views tonight. China's currency has weakened to its lowest level against the US dollar since March 2008, falling for 6 consecutive days as uncertainty over trade tensions with the US persists. In fact, it seems that Beijing is intervening to prevent it falling much faster. In Japan, the latest PMIs show a decided upturn in August, with factories contracting only marginally now, but a strong rebound in their services sector. In Indonesia, in a surprise move, their central bank cut its benchmark 7-day reverse repo rate by 25 basis points to 5.5%, the second rate cut in 2 months after slashing it for the first time in nearly 2 years in July. In Europe, these same PMI readings showed little change, with contracting factories and expanding services. Overall, there's a small expansion, but they are bouncing around at a 6-year low now. EU consumer confidence remains negative but stable in August. And the ECB is clearly worried about this overall funk. The minutes of their last meeting reveal that they're looking at rate cuts and asset purchases in an effort to arrest the economic slowdown. In Australia, their August PMIs are raising eyebrows. Their factory one is broadly stable at 51.3, even as it is recording a very slow expansion. But their services PMI has made a sudden downturn and is in fact contracting. Australia may be the only economy where factory PMI is more positive than their service sector PMI. And staying in Australia, regulator ASIC is proposing to ban the issue, sale and distribution of binary options and heavily restrict the sale of contracts for difference to retail clients. It calls them highly speculative products that have characteristics akin to gambling. Last year, these products lost investors $500 million. And in New South Wales, State Migration Department officials have noticed a significant increase in applications from Hong Kong in recent months. That's according to a letter to agents sent last week. The US Treasury 10-year yield is up 1 basis point at 1.61%. Gold is softer, down $4, now at $1,500 an ounce. And US oil prices are little changed today, still just on $55.50 a barrel. The Brent benchmark is unchanged at $60 a barrel. And the Kiwi dollar is considerably weaker against the US dollar, and now just below 63.7 US cents and a 43-month low. That drops the devaluation since the beginning of July down to more than 5%. On the cross rates, we're lower at 94.3 Australian cents. Against the euro, we're down to 57.5 euro cents. The trade-rated index has now fallen to just on 69 and a 10-month low. I'm David Chaston. That was 90 at 9, brought to you by interest.co.nz.